natural jealousy and dislike that they have had toward Robyn.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Reality Recap. Don't forget to subscribe and give this episode a big thumbs up. Season 19 of Sister Wives could possibly be one of the most heartbreaking seasons yet. For the first time ever, the Brown family has gone on record about the passing of Garrison, something fans know has been extremely difficult. In addition to all that, the four ladies are now living separate lives. The three original wives have moved on to their individual lives, and Robyn is still with Cody after the others left. Cody even stated that polygamy was a slap in the face. It has been hard to get Mary, Janelle, and Christine on film, seeing as they all live in different places now, but the tell-all, which is upcoming, will have them all in one house. TLC has been promoting this special for some time now, and already the fans have seen a sneak peek of Christine and Janelle talking to Cody. In the tell-all, Cody will be forced to finally acknowledge where he made mistakes and take responsibility. So, when does Sister Wives tell-all air? Christine Brown doesn't sugarcoat anything. In the promo, host Sukanya Krishnan asks whether or not she thought Cody left Mary behind. Christine doesn't mince words, saying he basically left all three of them. She also confesses she always suspected Cody and Robyn were dating, even before he proposed to her. Christine even displays a picture from their engagement in which Cody and Robyn look very intimate. She goes on to say that Cody would make a 3-hour drive every weekend just to visit Robyn, and wonders what those visits were actually about, suggesting there was probably more at play. With a wicked grin at Sukanya, she leaves little for the imagination. Curious when season 19 begins, and what else to see. For a very long time now, fans have wondered whether the Browns would eventually talk about Garrison's death. Although they do not explore all the details, they do pay him tribute. Bids for the tell-all are coming in thick and fast. This one-of-a-kind season will air in 4 parts, with Sukanya Krishnan hosting. So when is it getting underway? Sunday, May 25th. Sister Wives. Tell-all premieres on TLC at 10:00 p.m. Eastern Pacific. Cody will interview Sukanya in one-on-one sessions with each of the 4 women. They'll discuss the progression of their relationships, their individual triumphs and challenges, and offer their feelings about all that the family has endured. Sukanya won't shy away from discussing anything either. Although some of her questions are gentle, others will certainly put the Browns on the hot seat. Cody, on occasion, is said to lose his temper and instruct Sukanya to shut up, surprising her and building towards a heated confrontation. There are also going to be more jaw-dropping reveals, particularly by Christine, who lays bare some revealing facts about Robyn and Cody's relationship. And meanwhile, both Janelle and Mary look set to lift the lid on Cody's attitude. As usual, Cody is the victim and screams about how the trip has hurt him. He even attempts to shift the blame upon the others, crying they are attacking him, all because of Robyn. In a very emotional installment, the Brown family comes together to bid their last farewells to Garrison. He was only 25 years old when he died by suicide using his own gun. His parents are still grieving the loss of the young Sister Wives veteran. Although he died more than a year ago, TLC is now finally honoring his memory with the tribute it rightly deserves. As can be seen in the most recent episode, the entire Brown family gathers to put Garrison to rest. His mom, Janelle, speaks of her son with love and sadness in her voice as she remembers him. Even Cody gets teary-eyed, an unusual sight. Seeing all the family members weep and remember Garrison was a real emotional roller coaster. The kids were evidently upset, huddling together for support, trying to understand how their little brother fell victim to mental anguish. His loss continues to haunt the entire Brown family. Mary disclosed that she heard about Garrison's death for the first time from Cody on her birthday photo shoot. In the recent episode, Mary confirms that Cody called to break the bad news, but she had ignored the call. She was curious as to why Cody would be calling, and even instructed the crew to disregard it, thinking that he'd send a text if it really was something important. But when Mary did finally check her messages, she was shocked to read Cody's message informing her that Garrison had died. She classified it as an emergency and left the photo shoot right away. Mary later claimed to have phoned Janelle and assured her she'd be there with her during the painful moment. She also broke down and revealed how emotionally challenging it was to have one final meeting with Garrison. On a recent episode of Sister Wives on TLC, Janelle announced that all of the Brown family members had come together, except for a devastating reason. They were there to bury Garrison. Janelle explained that Cody had spoken about Garrison's funeral, adding that it was taken care of by his grandmother. At the funeral, Janelle's children could be seen hugging and comforting her as she sobbed. They're all still trying to come to terms with the fact that Garrison is no more. Cody was also tearful. He explained that he wanted to do all he could to respect his son's memory. As the family stood by the cemetery, gazing out at the headstones, viewers were actually moved to tears by the scenes. Most of them sympathized with Janelle and noted that if Cody really wanted to respect Garrison, he should have treated Janelle more respectfully when it counted. There were also long-standing rumors that Garrison and Cody did not get along prior to his passing. "My heart breaks for all of you," one of the fans stated. Another said, "It's a shame Cody didn't respect Garrison while he was alive." Another critic said that Cody was wrong to leave Garrison's picture in the garage, questioning why he did not bring the photo of his own son inside. The episode was heart-wrenching. Mary and Christine both appeared to be shaken, not knowing how to deal with such a deep loss. TLC is filming Garrison's death approximately 1 year after the actual occurrence, given the show's extended production schedule. But even after the passage of time, the Brown family and viewers still mourn his passing. It's still difficult for many to believe that a person so full of vitality has passed away. This season, arguably the most real and emotional of the whole series, catches a family in flux. Once grounded in common purpose and spiritual unity, the Browns are now broken, each individual grappling with their own painful reality. As this episode progresses, it becomes apparent that the emotional devastation of Garrison's passing has rocked the family to its foundation. The season strips away the layers to show just how much things have altered. Cody, the foundation of a polygamous family, now finds himself in the ashes of that dream, with only Robyn remaining. For perhaps the first time, he flat out admits that the lifestyle he once promoted now seems to have turned on him. There is a heavy dose of irony in his admission that the very lifestyle he based his life on has betrayed him. In the meantime, the women who were previously his spiritual equals have all entered into their own authority. Each has embarked on her own path with a revived purpose and a fierce autonomy. Under one roof once, they are now not only emotionally but physically dispersed, residing in whole different segments of the nation. Even so, with the increasing distance between them, the producers have been able to bring them back together, just as what promises to be one of the show's most dramatic moments to date. Tonight's tell-all will continue the show's tradition, a room where walls are broken through, emotions are heightened, and long-buried secrets come out. With advance previews and promotion teasers, viewers have been abuzz for weeks about what's ahead. Glimpses of intense showdowns and emotional confessions guarantee to upset the family dynamics even more. In one particularly powerful teaser, poised and fearless host Sukanya Krishnan puts a tough question to Christine, one of the show's most vocal commenters. And predictably, Christine hesitates not for a second. When Christine was asked if she thought Mary had been dumped by the man they once all called a partner, she had no hesitation. She not only affirmed that Mary had been dumped, but she added that the other two women, who once had the same degree of spiritual devotion, had also been discarded. Her voice, biting and unremorseful, sliced through the air like a sword of truth. Christine then raised a memory that had been stuck in her head for years, a photo that, to her eyes, implied something more profound than fledgling affection between Cody and the woman who was to be his final remaining companion. She implied that their relationship might have begun much sooner than anyone was aware, sending suspicion along with curiosity. She mentioned excessive regular weekend trips Cody took, trips too intense and too frequent to dismiss. With a wry smile that spoke volumes more than words, she let the audience fill in the gaps. While Christine's biting admissions fueled the fires, the full emotional breakdown is to come in the following parts. Every member of the family will have a sit-down, personal interview with the host, providing room for openness, honesty long overdue, and the unbridled type of telling that has made the show's most memorable moments possible. These one-on-ones guarantee to strip away the highly groomed personas and expose the feelings hidden beneath. This moment is also characterized by the family's shared mourning. For the first time, they are confronting the tragedy that rattled their core. They're deciding to celebrate a life lost much too early, even while holding some personal information close to heart. Yet their pinched faces and shattered voices leave no doubt. This is a pain that stays. In addition to reopening old sores, this two-part special will push each individual to take responsibility for the disintegration of the family. Some of these reactions will be designed to be confrontational, while others will fall more softly. At the core of it all, the man who was once the unifying figure of the family is again refusing to accept criticism. Veteran viewers will not be shocked to watch him lash out as tempers boil and hard questions are asked. In an isolated and unedited flash of irritation, he even berates the host, instructing her to be quiet. Her stunned response emphasizes the ferocity of what smolders beneath the surface. These moments won't be pleasant to see, but they will be authentic. Christine's honesty is not an exception. With increased confidence, Janelle comes forward with her truth as well. No longer playing small. She's here. Mary also found a voice long suppressed. These women collectively seek to find the hurt, the neglect, the silence, and loneliness that for so long characterized their collective life, but was glossed over in seasons past. What gives this moment strength isn't the show, it's the authenticity. Away with the scripted stories and tightly wound narratives. Instead, women who have suffered, learned, and concluded that silence is no longer an option are giving us their first-hand truths. Throughout this reflective incident, there is one thing that will keep appearing. The father who kept everyone revolving around him still positions himself as the victim. He refuses to take blame, deflects instead to the very same people now standing in judgment of him. He asserts that his love for his lone surviving wife has made him the villain, that he's been misunderstood, mistreated, and unjustly judged. But the women? They're no longer standing for that narrative. This tell-all is not merely a reunion, it's an accounting. With every truth that is shared, each confrontation endured, and all the emotional insight made public, the audience's perception of this family's journey will change. These individuals, who were previously experienced as characters in a shared story, are rendered as individuals, each with their own voice, tale, and truth. For the long-time devotees who've seen the Brown family's ascend, fall, and agonizing transformation, this season serves up a bitter yet necessary chapter. It's a narrative of closure and awakening, of secrets at last spoken, and of individuals choosing themselves, albeit for the first time. This intensely emotional progression compels audiences to stay with the painful truth of loss. A bright young man, cherished by his family and loved by fans, is dead. His laughter and light once made every scene shine. But now, heartbreak fills the void. When he made the tragic decision to end his life, he left behind a grief so deep that no words could ever truly soothe it. Though many months have since passed, the memories remain vivid and the pain still fresh. The episode centered on his passing offered an honest, unfiltered glimpse into a family grappling with profound loss. United in grief, the entire family came together for the solemn task, united by sorrow, yet finding strength in each other's company. Heavy with emotion, the atmosphere was heavy with sorrow, as wet hands and faces testified to the extent of the tragedy. A mother, overcome with emotion, told gentle stories that caught the special light of her son and the fierce love they shared. Trying to get through her tears, she showed her less common side, a flash of vulnerability from a woman accustomed to strength. Her children held her in a circle of solace, attempting to lighten the weight of her sorrow. Not even the normally stoic patriarch of the family, normally reserved and taciturn, could hold his tears. For once, the viewers witnessed a raw, unfiltered version of him. His sadness evident, his voice shaking, his heartbreak was palpable to all present, reminding everyone that sorrow is universal and intimately human. In the midst of emotional devastation, the children, each dealing with their own personal sorrow, relied on each other, creating a tenuous web of support. Far too soon, they had to confront the harsh fact that their brother was lost, overwhelmed by emotional struggles too great to be fought individually. But this was not just an episode of grieving. It became a collective experience in remembrance and recovery, giving us something beyond sorrow. It voiced the gesture of respecting a life abruptly ended, collectively. In one particularly moving recollection, a relative disclosed how she initially learned the tragic news, a surprise interruption on a day supposed to bring joy. She was shooting a birthday party, a time normally full of laughter, when her phone rang. Dreading the call's timing, she opted to disregard it, instructing the crew to do the same, hoping any emergency would be followed up in a message. It wasn't until much later that the reality hit her like lightning. Looking at her notifications, she had read those words no parent ever wants to read. Their precious son was dead. Shaken, she called out for an emergency and left the shoot at once, her heart crumbling under the discovery. Her initial reaction was to phone his mother, promising to stand by her side during a time that made no sense. She subsequently discussed with raw candor the agony of watching her child for the first and last time, an ordeal that no mother is ever ready for. That final trip, witnessed in the latest episode, was among the series' most emotional. All the family took a joint trip for the final farewell, their sorrow shrouding them like a mantle. They arrived in a collective force, held together by love and bereavement, to lay their son beside the resting place of a favorite grandmother, a symbolic act underlining the need to keep family near, even in death. As her children gave soft hugs and soothing words of condolence, the mourning mother's tears flowed unrestricted. Her sadness seeped into every look, every breath, every silence. Surrounding her were faces reflecting the intolerable reality that someone so vibrant had been snatched too prematurely from their midst. The father also was visibly shaken. His words, with equal sorrow and reverence, rang with a father's anguish and pride. He spoke candidly of his wish to pay tribute to his son in the best way he could. Standing together in the cemetery's stillness, The family gazed out over the landscape, their feelings cresting over them like waves. For some viewers, the episode hit a deep note, triggering an epidemic of empathy and collective sorrow online. But amidst the sympathy, some could not help but remember tensions in the past. Several of the fans excoriated the patriarch, accusing him of how he had handled the bereaved mother in previous seasons. His record, they asserted, taints his sorrow and raises tough questions about what could have been different. Certain audience members thought back that the best way to really honor the life of the young man would have been to be more compassionate and respectful towards those who cared for him most. Lingering conflicts and unresolved tensions in the family were brought to the forefront as reports came forward regarding a tense relationship between the young man and his father during the period leading up to his untimely demise. Fans cried out heartache at the broken relationships, wishing that if there was only more love and hard work, circumstances would have been otherwise. One aspect that was noticed by most was the way a precious photo, instead of being proudly showcased in the house, but hidden in some corner. For others, this represented emotional detachment, even abandonment. These little but revealing moments provoked greater suspicion about the internal conflict of the family and the complicated maze of feelings over the loss. Audience members started wondering what wasn't said, what suffering went unacknowledged, and what recovery had been postponed for far too long. Throughout this agonizing time, two members of the family women were visibly distraught. The burden of having lost a brother and a son weighed on them, their sorrow bare for all to see. Time didn't make it better. It got worse. Understanding these scenes had occurred years earlier, but were only disclosed on screen, made the emotional effect stronger for dedicated fans who had patiently waited for the family to make their heartbreak public. The sudden death of the young man has left a lasting vacancy, an emptiness that still resonates in the lives of those who loved and knew him. He was a shining light that was doused too early, and his absence still throws long shadows over those who are still grasping for peace and meaning in its wake. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more daily updates.